Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game. Romantic, also known as Fortitude, now going up against Starbuck. Romantic spawning as, well, the blue human player here at what I'll call the 6 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Starbuck spawning here in the close spawns as the yellow orc, as the yellow orc, Starbuck. Now, it is very important to note we're playing on Lost Temple, and human players often like to try to fast expand to their natural expansions, which in this instance will be expanding towards your opponent. So this is considered close spawns for a human. Orc, on the other hand, if he wanted to, could try and clear out his expansion and then set up an expo while then pressuring his opponent, since reinforcements would be coming in much more quickly and his hero could get over there. Things to keep track of, things to, well, take note of in how Lost Temple is played and figuring out where your opponent is. Always a good idea to do some scouting, as well, things do change drastically. Now, what is going to go down in this matchup? It is going to be a Farseer going up against an Archmage. Farseer very strong with that harass. You can see that the war mill is being placed down and a barracks is also getting set up, so maybe a lone grunt into headhunters. Behind this, Archmage is going to set up that farm, try to wall out, protect themselves against any spirit wolves that might try to push themselves in here. This was taken from the BetBoom LAN tournament, a big LAN tournament. Still great to see WarCraft 3 being played and being played well at high stages all across the world. Yeah, just really great to see games being played at a high level across the world, still having actual invitational LAN events. A lot of production went into it. If you guys didn't see those casts, or weren't able to catch those cast lives, well, that's one of the reasons why I am out here casting these games. I don't know if I saw this one live or not. Saw some games over the weekend, as we're going to be looking at the Farseer and Wolves trying to run and put pressure onto this 3-1-1 creep camp. Here we have, well, Romantic doing what human players have done since 2002. Fast expand over here into the bottom left-hand side of the map with the help of an Archmage and some water elementals. Some time ago, I thought some of the players would actually summon the water elemental up here on the ramp, aggro, pull over the creeps, and then all of those forest trolls would start targeting the water elemental. And since there is like a step here, they actually would start missing the target, using that high ground advantage, something that was used very much early on in the early stages of WarCraft 3. Well, as it was a mechanic that was brought in from StarCraft Brood War. Shooting up on the high ground, you have a chance of missing. Also shooting into brush, there was a chance of missing. Things like that. WarCraft 3 bringing us a true line of sight, as we see the footmen here trying to clear out of this forest troll berserker creep camp. Archmage is going to run around the side here. Still doesn't know that this is close spawns, as the units are now beginning to do a little bit of that. Farseer of Romantic going to get stalled here, and this could be some really bad news. Suddenly, the Farseer is, well, hurting in some major ways, down to 66 hit points. 2 or 3 more shots would have done it. The Farseer purposely going to run by the creeps, and then, well, get a little bit more damage again, as we're looking at the Archmage. Well, sitting at level 2, going to pick up Claws of Attack +5. Are those creeps going to try and aggro? And they may. Meanwhile, back down to the south here, the Spirit Wolves were summoned over. Militia now being called. One peasant tries to jump inside, switch that bag that he's carrying into a bag of gold, and, well, going to get picked off still. So Headhunters doing a little bit of picking here. Meanwhile, Militia trying to shoo back this attack as the Archmage comes in to reinforce and help, letting those pesky little Headhunters get away. All right, one more dead peasant, most likely. It's going to get denied by the Archmage. That's got to be a horrible, horrible day, as the peasant sees the reinforcements coming, going, yes, I'm going to be saved. I'm going to be saved. Only to see the Archmage come and say, you know what, I can't let you fall at the hands of my enemy. You will fall by my hands instead. 30 supply compared to 36. A little bit of focusing down here. The ranged headhunters being able to poke, focus fire, and then just trying to collapse these units further back. So great micro here, trying to pull those ranged units back here. Meanwhile, the headhunter already down to 105 hit points, gonna try to get up onto high ground and constantly losing sight. Now Romantic is gonna try to give chase here, switches targets. This may be a little bit drastic here, as this headhunter is now very, very far back and is going to be able to pretty much hide in safety. Meanwhile, we're going to see a scroll of speed be used in order to retreat away from the base. So a little bit of a tactical move here. Romantic summoning up a couple of water elementals, and now is going to be using a lot of that timed life, just trying to get into position. That is the downside to those water elementals. Their movement speed is rather low compared to all of the other summons out there, as the water elementals, one already turns into a puddle and the other is already at half life. We're going to see one down headhunter there. Footman still trying to give chase. Archmage going to be able to perhaps find the target to try and finish off another headhunter. No, a little bit too much separation. Farseer continuing to put in more pressure, perhaps going to try and poke these units again. Those javelins finding the back of those footmen consistently, as well Starbuck is just trying to shut down a lot of this mining. All right, Farseer kind of come across here. There's a chain lightning. That's going to be one dead footman and one dead peasant. Perhaps more to come along the way, as we're now going into level 3. Scroll of Town Portal inbound, or is that Staff of No, that is a Scroll of Town Portal. Archmage being forced to come back here to try and protect. Starbuck is just absolutely playing a great game here, shutting down a lot of all of this action, just using all of these headhunters and poking apart very quickly. Grunt now trying to retreat back. We're going to see one low hit point head of footman perhaps be able to retreat back. Not enough mana, and mana is the name of the game right now. That arcane tower, such a big deal, as we are now looking at a watchtower being placed down as well. Footmen now finally have defend, able to reflect back some of that damage from those headhunters. Meanwhile, Farseer had summoned up a new round of wolves. Those wolves are getting eaten away by that arcane tower, but well, the wolf has his eyes set on some other targets. We're going to see Water Elemental down to 20 hit points, just finish it off, get some experience, and then, well, Militia now being brought back over again. All right, more grunts coming back across here. We're going to look at some of those peasants. Militia's trying to engage that one headhunter. Finally going to be retreating back. Archmage is going to get a fireball off. Yes, does get one of the two low hit point units, as this watchtower is trying to get constructed. Romantic is, well, playing a very defensive game here, needing to, knowing that once he establishes that should be enough. Meanwhile, there was a second barracks being built off to the north. That's the reason why we see so many production buildings, or so many production units coming out, or barracks units coming out from Starbuck. Starbuck still staying at tier 1. This is a 2 racks counter, 2 racks push by an orc player. I can't believe I'm actually saying a 2 racks push by orc here on a Lost Temple. Perhaps referencing back to StarCraft 2 and those days, it would be similar to like a 4 racks push by Terran, just trying to crank out a lot of production units early on against a fast hatch Zerg. Anyways, coming back through, Farseer kind of come across to the side here. More damage getting added up. Archmage shows up to the party. Farseer needs to disrupt that Clarity Potion. Water Elemental going to get summoned here. More units are just constantly falling. Footman with the Fen trying to keep up, but because the Farseer does have level 3, those Spirit Wolves are going to be dealing good damage. As you see now, the Farseer getting up to level 4. All right, Farseer, level 4, level 2 Spirit Wolves continuing to move around here. They're looking at more damage. The Headhunters really need to be going after the Water Elementals. Going after those Water Elementals will be key here, as the Farseer is trying to inch closer still. Militia now being called over. Berserk or Headhunters still in the back, picking off the other units. The Footmen are trying to catch up to the Headhunters, but the Headhunters easily going to be able to out-stutter step those defending Footmen with their lower movement speed and their melee attacks. Archmage comes in from the other side. There's another wolf coming in from the back here. Starbuck is just really putting in the pressure. Meanwhile, the grunts are going to finish off all of these low hit point footmen now, since they are still in defend mode. Watchtowers trying to be placed down, forcing an engagement. Low hit point grunt going to try and retreat back once more. And where are these grunts going to go? Perhaps they're going to be able to head back over to the Voodoo Lounge, get some healing salves, and join back in. Archmage where is that Archmage? There's a Water Elemental. Archmage needs to come back across here. Scroll of Regeneration to try to heal up again, as the Archmage is staying steady nearly at level 4, wants to get that next bit of experience. Could, well, cancel this Watchtower, perhaps just try and at least disrupt some of this healing that is going down on these footmen as they are falling back here. All right, Farseer comes bearing gifts. One grunt not getting the healing salve bonus, as we're looking at the Farseer already down to, well, only one more healing salve. Is also using a clarity potion, level 2 chain lightning, and that could bounce around and deal large amounts of damage there, as you can see. All right, large bouncing damage coming across the board. Headhunter's trying to poke down a scout tower before it upgrades to a guard tower. You can see that little bit of bonus damage, how much it means, as the grunts are now pushing through. Headhunter count is now down, but the grunt count is now heavily grown, as the Farseer now get inches closer to level 5. Footmen against grunts, but the grunts, are they going to be able to pick out more and more units again here and here? Farseer trying to pick off another peasant. There goes one. There goes another. 2 low hit point grunts going to be able to retreat back. Archmage is sitting at level 4. There's level 5. Summons up now Shadow Wolves, and that is, well, just exactly what the doctor ordered. Now 21 to 22 damage, critical striking. And, well, the level 5 Farseer, all of this off of tier 1 play, additional Rax units just cranking out those units here, as the grunt now trying to retreat back. I do not believe Romantic was expecting this level of aggressive play, but and perhaps thinking that he could go into a long game. There's another round of Shadow Wolves getting summoned up. Bunch of low hit point footmen that could get focused down here. Arcane Tower trying to be repaired, and it is being repaired, but at what cost? All of the additional gold that Romantics pulled out of this gold mine has essentially turned into a bunch of experience into the Farseer, who is now at level 5. However, the Archmage is also getting closer to level 5 as well, so that could potentially have a big problem, as the footmen, headhunters need to try and retreat back. Grunts continuing this battle here. Archmage, Farseer trying to go up against all these units. Scroll of speed. What is he doing? He's just kind of stutter stepping here, perhaps going to be able to take down this Archmage. Archmage going to be in trouble. You can see that the Farseer still has the speed upgrade. Is it going to get another shot off onto that, down to 19 hit points? A grunt is going to perhaps try and, well, get in front. Archmage still ends up getting taken down, and with that said, the Farseer can bring all of his units to the Fountain of Health during a nightfall, heal up, and perhaps once more roll on out. Water Elemental going to try to move in there. Romantic gets a little bit of respite, but, well, Starbuck is going to come across with even more powerful units here as well. All right. That little bit of respite is just the coming of a storm, and that storm's name is Starbuck. Starbuck going to be bringing, well, Chain Lightning and these Shadow Wolves into position here. A lot of big damage. Arcane Tower quickly feeding back that Farseer, but, well, realizing that the Shadow Wolves are also big priority targets as well. Archmage, or excuse me, Farseer, well, ranged hero, able to deal big damage as the Archmage is resurrected and now trying to be brought back over. Farseer nearly at level 6, and this is all off of tier 1 play, off of 2 barracks, as the Archmage is just trying to inch closer to level 5. We're looking at more pressure here. Is the Farseer just going to get to level 6 and then perhaps try and go for Earthquake? That would be hilarious. Level 6 getting Earthquake needs just a little bit more mana, more poking going down there. There goes the Water Elemental. Farseer could be in trouble. Farseer nearly surrounded, had those Spirit Wolves in front, and now going to try and retreat back. All right, Grunts, more damage going down after all of these units. More peasants getting lost. Farseer trying to perhaps retreat back here. The Grunts pretty much not caring, having 700 hit points early in the game, saying, I can take all of this damage. What are you going to really do about it? Farseer are going to most likely use a clarity potion, get some healing salves, do all of that right there, heal up all of these low hit point units. There's a handful of, well, 2 grunts back at the Fountain of Health, just relaxing at the spa. Archmage down to 76 hit points, and I believe this game has got to be over. Farseer could have, well, it would have been interesting to just see Earthquake be placed down here and then make the Expo lost And as the Farseer is, yep, there's the Earthquake. Earthquake bringing in the damage, taking down the guard tower and that arcane tower. A bunch of slow across all of these units here. The town hall about to be lost, and that is gonna be the game. A 14-15 minute game with a level 6 Farseer. Starbuck bringing the aggressive play against the fast expanding Romantic. That close spawn location really playing into the hands of Starbuck. That may be the reason why he built that second barracks, and with that second barracks able to reinforce all of that aggression, never spending any time teching the tier 2. Romantic, well, try to expand early. Usually plays out well. You're able to get reinforcements, militia, but the additional number of units from that barracks pushed it over the edge, hitting the tipping point for Romantic, not being able to hold on to the expo. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.